Using AI correctly includes knowing how to issue clear instructions. And while I think that AI coding tools are wildly overused, there are benefits to knowing how to use them. In this video, I'm going to solve a one-off problem that I have with a small AI-developed application rather than doing the manual steps in order to demonstrate issuing clear instructions. Now, for most of my training, I work to give you an in-depth look at technology so you understand the when and the why to use something, not just how to use it. But sometimes you just need the quick answer to the question, how do I do this? That's why I created this 10-minute training series. Okay, so we're going to build an app in 10 minutes or less that's going to solve a problem. Now, what's my problem? Well, I have many problems, but the problem I have right now is I just got headshots recently, and I downloaded them from a Google Drive that my photographer sent to me. The problem is Google Drive created this series of zip files. Now, there's probably a zip application out there that could extract all the zip files at once or combine them or something like that, but notice they're very, very large. They're 1.5 gigabytes approximately. And in each zip file is a folder, and that folder is 1 to 2 pictures. So each of these has a couple. Now I could go through and just manually, extract each of these to the folder. Like I could say, extract all. I could go to this dialog here. I could say I don't love that, but I can change that and then say extract and do that 17 times. I could do that, or I could do this instead, which is I'm going to grab this path here so I have it, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to I've got a console app here called Disposable Unzip App. And this is going to do one job, and then I'll probably throw it away. And this is one of the real benefits of AI development is one-off tools that can solve a problem for you very quickly and then go away. And you can even use these for tools that you use more than once, but that aren't really as part of your critical path and don't really have a lot of access. Now, I still highly recommend that you review every line of code because you can still create some real messy code. But what we're going to do is use Copilot. Now, you may say, well, I like Claude better. That's cool. I use Claude a lot. I also use Copilot. They are getting to be about the same. Every time Claude comes out with something new, Copilot copies it. And every time Copilot comes out with something new, Claude copies it. We're in the place where everybody's trying to, copy each other and find what works. So right now I'm in agent mode with Claude Sonnet 4.5, which is not the latest model. I could use Opus. This is, I think, 4.5 or 4.6. Notice the 3x run rates. There's even newer models that I could install in here. I haven't activated the newer models in my account. Not a problem, because really these newer models don't actually provide you the whole lot of magic. You might think they do, they just don't. Also note, I'm not going to be bringing in a bunch of extra tools or MCP or trying to have all these custom instructions and all these things. Nope, we're just going to have a prompt because your prompt is your most important thing. You can have all the configurations and tweaks in the world. It's not going to make as much a difference as how good of a prompt you write. So let's write a prompt. Our goal here is to extract all these zip files. Now, if I said extract all zip files, that's not good enough. Here's why. First of all, where? And then second of all, notice that each of these has a folder in it. And I think these folders are all named the same from one to the next. It looks like they are. But then each files are underneath that. I don't want that. I want them all in this headshots folder. So therefore, I want to be very clear in my prompt what exactly I want. I want you to take time to think about this. So my prompt is going to be extract every zip file from this location, from the, you don't have to put the, but, and notice I said every zip file, okay, because there's more than one. The contents of each zip file should be placed in the same directory. Remove any folder structures in the zip files. Okay, so this could be probably a little clearer, but I think this is clear enough. The contents of each zip file should be placed in the same directory, which would mean this directory. Okay, and then remove any folder structures in the zip files means flatten them out. Okay, one last thing here. Use the async zip extraction feature of .NET 10 if they will be valuable. Now, do I need this? No, but I can tell it to, go look for that. So it's going to do some work. It's going to modify my program.cs. It's going to just write the code right here. It's already come up with a plan. And notice it says flatten the directory structure, which is what I want, but I didn't say flatten because I want to make sure we were very clear as to what was happening. And so I said it in a different way so that it would not just parrot back what I was saying, but kind of restate it in a way that makes sense to me. Okay, so it's replacing the contents. Yes, I want to confirm. For whatever reason, Copilot still seems to have a problem sometimes with an empty zip file. So it's trying to get that zip file and it just can't figure out how to do it. Has a minimal content. Yeah, it has no content. I cleared it out. So yes. Okay. So now it's supposedly done. So let's look at it real quick. If it exists, say it's not exist and return. If this target does not exist, say it doesn't exist. Okay, look for all zip files. If no zip files found, say no zip files found and return. Cool. Found how many? Cool. For each? Cool. It's going to process, await using var stream zip. So that's the new .NET 10. It looks like maybe, but I'm not going to really care. Okay. If it's null or empty, then continue. Find the path. If it's already there, then skip it and say we skipped our existing. And then we're going to copy async. And then we're going to say complete or error process and extraction complete. Let's go ahead and run this. So we just created that program using AI. It looks good. It found 17 zip files. And as we can see, it's starting to extract those zip files. So even with explanation, which we're about 7.5 minutes into the video, but even explanation, this is faster than if I did it myself. Okay, so this is what I'm saying about you can create a one-off application and save yourself a little bit of time because AI can do the work of writing the code to automate it. Now, this is not something I would do for every solution. There's some things where it's just faster to do it yourself. But for anything like this where it's a pain, I have to, wrestle it for 5, 10, 15 minutes, this can save me headache too. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run. This is almost done, but it's extracting all of our zip files, and then we should be good to go. Yep, I actually paused the video and it completed right away. So that's it. That's all it took to build that app, extraction complete. We're good to go. For me, I would throw this app away now because I don't need it again. I'm not going to be getting headshots again for a while. So therefore, I don't need to have another extraction thing. But if I was getting things, big files and big chunks from Google Drive where it's creating zip files for me, then yeah, I might keep this around, mark it as, this is what it does, and then do some cleanup on this. So right now, this is hard-coded to this location. You might say, oh no, it's hard-coded. Yeah, it didn't matter. It's a one-off application. The key here is that if it's not a one-off application, we do some cleanup work and make it a little bit more robust. But for right now, this works. Okay, so that's how to use AI. That's how to be very clear in your prompt of the AI. I'm not trying to jam its memory full of information. That's what some people try and do, is they create these large files that they bring in all this stuff to try and jam pack the memory to make sure it's writing the right code, the right way, this and that. And that may be necessary for some things, but for one-off applications, for quick applications that you're not going to be using in production, this is just fine. The key here is Whether you're jam packing extra stuff in here or not, you need to have a very clear prompt that gives specifics on what you expect to happen. No assumptions. And that's what developers should be doing well, because developers have always worked on things where we have to give no assumption like code, okay? So make sure you're thinking about your prompt. Don't just start writing stuff. Write it down. Think about it before you hit go on your application or your AI execution of your application. Okay? Thanks for watching. And as always, I am Tim Corey.